We live in a world saturated with connection. Social media, instant messaging, and video calls keep us constantly plugged in. Yet, many of us feel a pervasive sense of loneliness. This paradox highlights the difference between being connected and feeling truly seen, heard, and understood. Building genuine connections requires more than just exchanging information or sharing superficial updates. It demands vulnerability, empathy, and a willingness to engage on a deeper level. In a world that often prioritizes speed and efficiency, finding the time and space for this kind of connection can feel challenging. The fear of judgment or rejection can make us hesitant to reveal our true selves, even to those closest to us. We may find ourselves retreating behind carefully curated online personas, afraid to let the world see our imperfections and vulnerabilities. However, it is precisely in those moments of vulnerability that true connection is born. When we allow ourselves to be seen, flaws and all, we create space for others to do the same. Digital technology has undoubtedly transformed the way we connect. It allows us to stay in touch with loved ones across distances and provides platforms for building communities around shared interests. However, it is important to acknowledge the limitations of digital connection. While social media can facilitate introductions and maintain existing relationships, it cannot replace the depth and richness of face-to-face interaction. Nonverbal cues, shared experiences, and the simple act of being present in the same physical space contribute to a level of connection that is difficult to replicate online. Moreover, the curated nature of online interactions can create a distorted sense of reality. We may find ourselves comparing our lives to the carefully edited highlights of others, leading to feelings of inadequacy or envy. It is essential to remember that social media often presents an idealized version of reality, not the full picture. Building meaningful relationships requires us to move beyond the superficiality of likes and comments. It requires us to be present, engaged, and willing to invest time and energy in cultivating genuine connection. The desire for connection is universal, but the ways in which we seek it out and express it are often shaped by our cultural backgrounds. Some cultures prioritize individuality and independence, while others place a higher value on collectivism and interdependence. These cultural norms can influence our expectations for relationships, our communication styles, and even our comfort levels with vulnerability. What is considered appropriate or desirable in one culture may be perceived as inappropriate or undesirable in another. For example, in some cultures, expressing vulnerability is seen as a sign of weakness, while in others, it is viewed as a sign of strength and authenticity. Similarly, direct communication may be valued in some cultures, while indirect communication is preferred in others. Navigating these cultural differences requires sensitivity, empathy, and a willingness to learn and adapt. It is important to approach cross-cultural interactions with an open mind and a genuine desire to understand and appreciate different perspectives. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in our ability to build and maintain strong relationships. It allows us to understand and manage our own emotions, as well as recognize and respond to the emotions of others. Individuals with high emotional intelligence are typically skilled at empathy, communication, and conflict resolution. Empathy, in particular, is essential for creating deep connections. It is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person, to see the world from their perspective, and to respond with compassion and understanding. When we approach our interactions with empathy, We create a safe and supportive space for others to be vulnerable and authentic. We demonstrate that we value their feelings and experiences, even if we don't always agree with them. Cultivating emotional intelligence requires self-awareness, self-regulation, and a willingness to learn and grow. It is an ongoing process that involves paying attention to our own emotions, understanding how our actions affect others, and developing strategies for managing difficult emotions in a healthy and constructive way. Section 5. Vulnerability. The courage to be seen. Vulnerability is often perceived as a weakness, something to be hidden away or avoided at all costs. However, it is precisely in our vulnerability that our strength lies. It is in those moments when we let down our guard, allow ourselves to be seen for who we truly are, that we create the opportunity for genuine connection. When we are vulnerable, we are essentially saying, "This is me, flaws and all. Do you accept me?" This act of courage opens the door for others to do the same, to shed their own armor and reveal their true selves. Of course, vulnerability can be scary. It requires us to step outside of our comfort zones, to risk rejection or judgment. However, the potential rewards far outweigh the risks. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create the conditions for intimacy, trust, and authentic connection. We show others that we are human, that we make mistakes, and that we need each other. Section 6. The power of open and honest communication. Open and honest communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. It allows us to express our needs and desires, to share our thoughts and feelings, and to resolve conflicts in a constructive manner. However, effective communication is about more than just talking. It also requires us to listen actively, to seek to understand the other person's perspective, and to be willing to compromise. One of the biggest barriers to open communication is the fear of conflict. We may avoid difficult conversations or hold back our true feelings in an effort to preserve harmony. However, this avoidance can lead to resentment, misunderstandings, and ultimately, a breakdown in the relationship. Learning to communicate effectively, even when it's difficult, is essential for building strong and lasting connections. It requires us to be honest with ourselves and with others, to set healthy boundaries, and to be willing to have those tough conversations that can ultimately strengthen our relationships. Section 7. Embracing authenticity. The path to genuine connection. In a world that often encourages us to conform, to present a perfect image to the world, it can be tempting to hide our true selves behind masks and facades. However, true connection can only be built on a foundation of authenticity. When we embrace our authentic selves, when we allow ourselves to be seen for who we truly are, we give others permission to do the same. We create a space where vulnerability is welcomed, imperfections are embraced, and genuine connection can flourish. Being authentic doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real, being honest about our strengths and weaknesses, our joys and sorrows, our hopes and fears. It means showing up in the world as our true selves, not the selves we think others want us to be. Embracing authenticity requires self-awareness, self-acceptance, and the courage to be vulnerable. It means letting go of the need to please everyone, of the fear of judgment, and of the belief that we are not enough. Section 8. Reaping the rewards of deep connection. Building deep, meaningful connections requires time, effort, and vulnerability. It's not always easy, and it certainly doesn't happen overnight. However, the rewards of deep connection are immeasurable. Strong relationships provide us with a sense of belonging, purpose, and support. They help us to navigate life's challenges, to celebrate our successes, and to become the best versions of ourselves. When we feel connected to others, we are more resilient, more compassionate, and more likely to experience joy, fulfillment, and overall well-being. In essence, deep connection is not just about feeling good. It's about living a more meaningful and fulfilling life. So, make the effort to cultivate genuine connections. Be present, be vulnerable, be yourself. The rewards will be well worth the effort.